Have you ever stopped to think about the incredible biological camera that's sitting right in your head? I mean, really think about it. In less than a blink, it captures light, processes millions of bits of data, and literally creates the entire visual world you experience. So, how on earth does it work? Well, let's follow a single ray of light on its amazing journey from the outside world all the way into your mind. Right, this is the big question. How does a simple physical thing like a beam of light transform into the rich, colorful, three-dimensional world you see all around you? That's what we're going to break down. We're going to trace that path, step by step, from the world, through the eye, and into the brain, where the real magic happens. And to really get our heads around it, we're going to look at this in two parts. First up is the anatomy. That's basically the what. The physical building blocks, the nuts and bolts of the eye. Then we'll get into the physiology, and that's the how all those parts work together in this incredible process to create sight. All right, let's start our tour with the parts of the eye we can actually see, the tough outer layers that act like a bodyguard for all the delicate machinery tucked away inside. So our journey begins with something you see every single day in the mirror, the sclera. We just call it the white of the eye, but its job is way more important than just being a backdrop for your eye color. The sclera is this remarkably tough white coat made of dense tissue. Its main jobs? Well, first, it protects all the inner parts of the eye from getting injured. And second, it provides the structure that keeps the eye in that perfect spherical shape. It's basically the eye's armor. Now, if you follow that tough white shell around to the very front of the eye, you'll notice it does something pretty amazing. It suddenly becomes perfectly clear, and this part is called the cornea. This clear, dome-shaped thing is the eye's front window, for sure, but it's a window with a serious superpower. The cornea is kind of the unsung hero of focusing. It's responsible for about 2/3 of the eye's total power to bend light. It does all the initial heavy lifting the second that light enters. Okay, so the light has made it past the protective outer shell. Let's move a little deeper and check out the internal machinery that takes over to control and fine-tune that beam of light. Right behind the cornea, you've got the iris. Yep, that's the colorful part of your eye, and smack in the middle of it is the pupil. Now, the pupil isn't actually a thing. It's just the opening that the iris muscle controls. Think of the iris as the automatic aperture on a camera. It adjusts to light without you even thinking about it. When you walk out into bright sunshine, that muscle tightens up, making the pupil tiny to protect the sensitive cells inside. But then, when you go into a dark room, it opens wide up, letting in as much light as it possibly can. Pretty cool, huh? Sitting directly behind that pupil is our next major player, the lens. Now, unlike the cornea, which is pretty rigid, the lens is brilliantly designed to be flexible. And that flexibility is absolutely key for something called accommodation. You see, there's a ring of tiny muscles around the lens. When you look at something far away, those muscles pull on the lens, stretching it out and making it flatter. But when you look at something up close, like your phone, those muscles relax, and the lens gets thicker and rounder to bring the image into sharp focus. And that brings us, finally, to the star of the show. This is the most critical layer, lining the entire back wall of the eye, the retina. The retina, for all intents and purposes, is the eye's sensor. If your eye is a camera, the retina is the digital sensor chip or the film in an old-school camera. Its whole surface is packed with millions of these special light-sensitive cells, all just waiting for the cornea and lens to project a perfectly focused image right onto them. So we've met all the players. Now let's switch gears from anatomy to physiology. Let's follow one single beam of light on its incredible, high-speed journey to actually becoming vision. Okay, let's put it all together. A ray of light from, say, a tree first hits your cornea, which does that initial powerful bend. Then it zips through the pupil, which has already adjusted its size for the brightness outside. After that, the flexible lens makes the final, precise tweaks to the focus, projecting a perfectly sharp, but upside down, image onto the retina at the very back. So once the light hits the retina, it runs into those photoreceptors we were talking about. And there are two main types. You've got rods, which are super sensitive and give us our night vision and our peripheral vision, but they can't see color. And then you have the cones. They need a lot more light to work, but they're the ones responsible for all our sharp, detailed color vision. And the sheer number of these things is just mind-boggling. We're not talking about a few thousand. Each one of your retinas is packed with over 100 million of them. It's this incredibly dense network of biological sensors, all working together to capture every last detail of the world. And this is where the real magic happens. The instant that light hits a rod or a cone, it sets off a chemical reaction that immediately converts that light energy into a tiny electrical signal. The eye has just translated a physical thing, light, into pure information. That electrical signal is now ready for the final leg of its journey. So how does this raw data get from the back of the eye all the way to the brain to become the rich, visual world that we actually experience? Well, all those millions of electrical signals get collected and funneled into this massive bundle of nerve fibers at the back of the eye. This is the optic nerve. You can think of it as the high-speed data cable that connects your eye directly to your brain. That optic nerve zips those impulses to a special processing center at the very back of your brain called the occipital lobe. And this is where a ton of processing happens in a flash. Your brain takes that upside-down image from the retina and flips it right side up. It combines the signals from both of your eyes to create depth perception, and it interprets all that raw data into the rich, seamless picture you perceive as reality. And that brings us to the most incredible takeaway from all of this. Get this, you don't actually see with your eyes. Your eyes are just these unbelievably sophisticated cameras that collect light and turn it into data. The actual experience of seeing, that happens entirely inside your brain. So the next time you open your eyes, just take a second to remember the incredible journey that light is taking, from a simple photon of light to a complex electrical signal, all culminating in a fully rendered 3D image inside your mind. It's this seamless blend of physics, chemistry, and biology happening trillions of times a day, just so you can see the world. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other everyday miracles are we all taking for granted?